figure out how to hold everything. There's a system to it. I need one more. Oh, you know what? Maybe the lav mic from David will do it. That may solve all of our problems if I just did this like a real talk show host and held a lav mic. Not held a lav mic, had a lav mic. Well, here we are. What a wonderful opportunity I'm going to take to ask you to please like, subscribe, and tell your friends about this channel. This is the Late Night Playset. My name is Jay Ryan. Welcome back. If you're a first-timer, we play it pretty loose around here. We have got a great guest for you this evening. We have got a guest that... here's the thing. It's an exciting night for us here, okay? Mrs. Ryan's here. It's an exciting night because... the guest that we have used to be an intern here, okay? I'm talking about Joey The Stiglette. He was an intern over the summer. We've known him for years through Breakfast Club and just driving around the mountains with his mom and stuff. I don't know. You got under my skin once you became an intern here because we started seeing you regularly, and then it was like, all right, we're investing in this kid. We want him to do well. All right, let's support the hell out of him. Here's the thing. He's here as a guest this evening because he has some very exciting news about his racing career, folks. That's exactly right. Some exciting announcements about the Stiglette and the Driven, I believe it's called. Is that right?
It's called the Driven, the future of youth racing. So I guess I can just reveal it now.
No. We'll do it properly. But we're really excited that Joey's here. And with that, we're excited that producer Mike is here up in Canada. Hello, producer Mike.
Greetings and salutations and happy da.
We're going to get to the happy da of it all. Also, the Instagram audience is here. CDM Shore Break, the Dave. Wow, the Dave. You're here on a great night. As producer Mike just alluded to, it's Mr. David Letterman's birthday, okay? He doesn't have anything officially to do with this show, but obviously we have a little bit of unofficially to do with him all over the joint. Very happy birthday today. We're going to be celebrating a little bit here with producer Mike up in Canada and the Stiglette and the missus with her Michigan shirt as well. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I like it. Was that intentional?
No.
Oh, I like it.
I wish it were.
Dave's guy, her old friend, went to Michigan, so they have that in common. Anyway, lots to talk about, lots to enjoy this evening in the Late Night Playset. Let's fire it up right now with our friends on Instagram, John Henri 996 Retro, and the Dave. You trim your beard. You look great. And he did a shave. Everybody looks great. What's up, you guys? Kurt must be here. We'll bring the Instagram audience back over here. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. I'm supposed to say it. Hello, everybody. Hello, Aunt Bethany. Welcome back to the Late Night Playset. It's Tuesday, April 12th, 2022, everybody. April 12th, with me sitting at the desk means it's David Letterman's birthday. Happy birthday, Dave. Universal sign for happy birthday. I don't know what was wrong with me then. I don't know what's wrong with me now, but I assure you it's different problems. So we're safe. Come visit. We're going to talk a little bit about Dave because we've got producer Mike up in Canada who has just recently launched, he's recently announced, I guess it's about to launch in a week, the Letterman podcast hosted by that man himself right there, Mr. Mike Chisholm. Hi, Mike. Happy
birthday, Dave.
What's going on? What's going on with you up there, buddy?
Oh, it's a happy day because it's Dave 75, and it's a sad day because of Gilbert Gottfried passing away. But at the end of the day, we are going to celebrate Dave. We're going to celebrate the Stiglette and his announcement, and I'm really happy to be here.
Oh, thanks, buddy. I'm happy to be here, too, with the Stiglette and you. This sounds like a Trump conference. I just want to thank everybody. I'm very happy to be here. This is very positive.
It's tremendous.
No. What I'm first of all, I'm thinking about the producer here. He's just going right down the card. Gilbert wasn't there for a few minutes, but man, if you haven't heard, I'm going to put up this picture real quick.
Oh,
yeah, that's all in what, the last month and a half, 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. How long Saget been gone? 2 months, maybe.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, Louie was a couple days after I recall. Oof. I mean, that's my childhood right there, dying off. I don't mean to make light of it. I remember when Dave had his show, and he would always talk about how Rickles was like the last guy from that generation or whatever. Holy shit, our generation's going now. That generation, they're gone. They're long gone now. But now our generation's like not just going quickly lately. It bums me out. I mean, I guess the world's got to keep on going, but like. It bums me out. I'm a nostalgic person. What's going to happen when my people are gone? What am I going to... I have nothing.
I don't want to think about it. I have no idea what you're going to do. No idea. Gotta find someone.
What about you, Mike? What about you? I mean, you feel similarly.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love what your version of reality versus my version of reality. We probably have different takes on it. Those are probably guys that you have bumped elbows with and whatnot in the showbiz community. I believe that there is a certain type of sorrow that comes with people that you've never met, but you've always admired because you've seen them, whether it's through the TV or through, comedy records. I mean, those guys would have put out comedy records back in the day. And now they're gone, and it's a part of you that's gone. And It's weird to think about having that relationship with people younger than you, to me.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But again, I think that's the fan in both of us, not the creative in both of us, which we both are.
Right.
I don't know. The whole thing is, I mean, you probably have worked with those guys more closer than me. I've definitely met Saget. I've definitely met Louie. I was Facebook friends with Louie. Not that means anything, but he was doing The Feud when we worked at Sunset Beach. He worked on The Feud. Hey, everybody, let's play The Feud. Oh, I loved him. He was such a warm, kind human. And as I can recall, the only time that I can remember, he probably did Conan a bunch back in the day, but I didn't give a shit. I grew up with USA Up all night. Remember, it was Rhonda Shear on one night, and it was hosted by Gilbert on the other night. It was like Friday and Saturday night. It was like horror movies and like cleavage movies, that kind of thing.
I
Russ
know
Meyer
I knew
films.
of it, but I never watched it.
So like that's how I got introduced to Gilbert, and then obviously I knew his comedy and hello, and everything. The Affleck guy, and he was on Stern a lot. The only time I can ever actually remember meeting him, I'm almost positive, was with your brother when Ronnie's block party. Remember Ronnie the limo driver on Howard Stern? He would travel the country doing Ronnie's block party, and it was like it was everybody from Howard Stern except for Howard Stern and Robin. But like all of the Whack Pack would come, all of the other guys, JD and whatever. And so I have this vague recollection. That was a long night. It was the drinking days, and that was a long night. But I have this vague recollection. I know I hung out with Mike Judge a lot that night, but I have this vague recollection of meeting Gilbert and Gilbert being there, and of Mike Judge talking to Gilbert. And there's no other place in the world I can place that happening. So that's the only thing for me there. What about you?
My friend worked with Bob, and I think I met the other two, but I have no memory of it.
Yeah.
Bob made fun of me because my geographical problem. I told him I had to go through London to go somewhere, and he's like, that's the wrong direction. Like, he looked at me like I was so dumb. I stand in your face a lot. Makes me think of him all the time.
Yeah. I used to see him at the Laugh Factory when I first moved out here because he would just kind of do spots all over town or whatever, and he would just walk in and, go up. But, in fact, that was where I met Candace, from the daughter. I was like, oh, that's so funny. The daughter's in the balcony. And years before Fuller House and all the rest of it. But I guess in that they're more than just people on TV. But to your point before about when you lose somebody that you've never actually met, I think perhaps it hurts more because you don't even have an idea of their imperfections. You only have the best. Like, that's the best person in the world, the person you've never met, right? Like, that you idolize or like a lot. Like, they don't fart, their feet don't smell, you know what I mean? They're never, whatever the thing, they're not real people because you don't know all their little idiosyncrasies that make them interesting.
Oh my God, you're just blowing my mind. It's like the girlfriend from summer camp that you're never going to see again.
Oh, great.
It's just like that. You never, that girl's perfect. I mean, holy cow. And you're right about that. Yeah, that's exactly the feeling. Good call, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So long, Gilbert. R.I.P. Gilbert. He was a lot of people that I like and respect really liked and respected him.
Same.
I never necessarily got it.
Same.
I'm kind of Team Seinfeld with I don't get the voice and stuff. Like I think Gilbert was funny. Like when he would do other voices, when he would do what Groucho he would do and the other stuff, he was funny. So it's kind of like, well, why did you need the thing? I guess it made him a lot of money with Aladdin and stuff. Remember he was in Aladdin, he was the parrot.
I forgot totally until I read that was him.
It was, right? I'm not making that up because
No,
Robin Williams was in that too.
The article said, and I totally forgot. So.
That was just memory for me. Hello. Oh man.
People always say that they would love if Morgan Freeman narrated their life, and I always made the joke, I wish Gilbert Gottfried would narrate my life. I think that'd be pretty great. He was on Rogan a few months ago, and they did 2 hours together, and it was really, really good. You got to know Gilbert very well, and they talked a lot about the past and where he's at now. And he was doing cameos at the end, and I was like, oh, I got to get Gilbert to do a cameo of some sort for me, just because I want to hear him say my name in that voice. But yeah,
so that's why
I highly recommend it.
He became famous because of the voice. But he's famous for the voice, not for being funny, which is unfortunate to me for a comedian. He's not a voiceover actor. I mean, he is, but
that's not his original thing.
Yeah.
That's what I heard about him too, and I was like, that's a sellout move that I can't support.
Also, you remember they kind of canceled him. He was one of the first people to sort of be pseudo-canceled because he got fired from, was it Geico or whoever? Affleck for making a comment about, whatever he made a comment about. Yeah, R.I.P. Gilbert. And Bob Saget and Louie. God, I loved Louie. He was so nice. So nice.
Always said that.
Did you ever work with Louie?
No.
Did you ever meet him?
No.
Oh my God, he would have loved it. Nicole! Here comes Nicole. Everybody be quiet. Here comes Nicole. Oh, he was so funny. God. That one makes me sadder than anybody because I actually spent some time with him more than the other two, that I can actually remember. All right. Gee whiz. Happy birthday, Dave. Dave, I don't know. I've never celebrated Dave's birthday before. You know what I mean? I don't really intend to do it now. We don't have confetti rigged from the ceiling up to fall with balloons and shit later. Yeah, we got the bubbles, but that's because Dave had the bubbles. What about you, my friend? You're launching this Letterman podcast, which, by the way, you should probably follow on Instagram because Worldwide Pants people are following and former staffers are following now and stuff. So you should probably get on there and follow your own thing. But what about you?
Probably should.
How do you feel today?
I mean, I feel great. Whenever Dave releases new content, I feel great. And he released a couple new pieces of content. He finally told the story where he gets knocked out cold that he's been teasing on his last few appearances. So I'm excited about
is that right?
And then, yeah, he told the whole story with Barbara Gaines on the Letterman channel. I'm excited about that. I'm excited that he released the old footage of him making a crank call that never was on anything. It never was on air.
That's just
in any way,
audio,
shape, or
right?
form.
I didn't
Just
know if
audio.
my YouTube. Okay, good. I didn't know. I wasn't sure if my YouTube crapped out or not.
It
Our
was
YouTube
them
crapped out
testing the
earlier, and I
phone
wasn't sure
system.
if it was related.
Well, and that's funny because that's what they were doing. They were testing the phone system on his desk. And to do that back in the day, Dave would make crank calls. And there was a former staff member that recorded a bunch of them and hoarded them and saved them. And now they're being released. Sure, there's a bunch of them.
It's technically from Dave's old NBC late night desk before they ever went on the air, because they were just doing rehearsals in the studio and testing equipment and such. And so you got to call somebody to make sure the phone works. So they just called the building across the street Simon & Schuster, which ironically later became Meg Parson across the way.
That's how that started?
I don't know that that's how it started. I just happened to notice when he sent me this clip earlier, so I thought I was watching it, but I was listening to it. And they said it was the publicity department at Simon & Schuster, which happens to be where Meg worked across the street. She was in publicity at Simon & Schuster. Pocketbooks, if I recall.
Yeah.
Because they later put out those top 10 books, right? All the top 10 compilations.
Yeah, that's right. I got a couple of those things kicking around still as well.
I bought them all when I was a kid. They're all gone now, but I bought them all when I was a kid. Dave's World, all that, the unauthorized biography of the inside of the outside of the Late Show, whatever. Everything but a map to the theater. You'll have to figure that out yourself.
Which you did.
Happy birthday. I got to be careful with this. The only one I have left. I've been giving these things away over the years, I got to be careful.
You're a good man, Jay Ryan.
Yeah. Well, now. All right, so I guess we should move on here. I don't have a whole lot to talk about top of show other than the fact that it's Letterman's birthday. We are still trying to get Dave here, or something. I mean, the truth is, for anyone to be along this journey with us, along this ride, and actually get invested emotionally, they really need to know what we're up to. And up until this point, we haven't been able to tell you, the audience. I'm talking to you, the audience now, not the Canadian producer Mike. And I feel like I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it without blowing our chances at finishing it, but I feel like we have to at some point soon let them in on it. And this is all coming to me in real time now, but maybe the Letterman podcast is the place to do that.
Oh,
maybe
man.
You should have me on as a guest. Not like I need to talk anymore, but yeah, you know what? Maybe let's talk about that more. That idea got birthed right here in real time. So, but it might be an interesting way. Yeah, maybe that'll work.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
I want to make sure the people who are on this ride with us know everything they should know, and right now they don't, and that's not fair. But I can't change it on my own. We need more people to be involved, and then we can tell you.
There are massive aspirations.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind
massive aspirations where a keystone, if that one keystone is removed, the avalanche of success and fun will follow for all of us.
Yeah. Everything kind of unlocks at that point, and then this whole story makes sense. Why the hell have they been doing this the way they've been doing it for so long? Makes sense. And I have a feeling that if we become just this much less crazy to everybody for doing all of this, I think it'll be a lot more palatable, especially considering the way the world's going. I feel like we are gonna this timing and everything. You know when they say everything's about timing, it doesn't matter about this. Blah, 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 blah. Timing's everything. I'm 44 years old, and I'm realizing that's 100% true.
Yeah.
Everything I ever wanted as a kid will come to me now. It's so bizarre. He's doing what I should have been doing as a kid. We're going to get Joey in here in just a couple minutes. Hang on, Joey. He's getting. We have to. Hang on. But he's doing it now. Joey, you're doing what I was doing then, and I just did that one thing that veered myself off course, and then I was afraid to correct myself. you just keep yourself on course, mister, and like the world is your oyster because you're doing everything right.
I'm trying.
No, you really are. I don't even know if you know that yet, but you are. So keep doing what you're doing. And I feel like a lot of people tell you what to do, but you know inside.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to talk more about that in a minute. All right, producer Mike, more on the Letterman stuff later tomorrow, later in the week. I don't know. But I love you. I'm glad you're here. Anything going on Instagram, you please just let us know. Jump in.
Okay.
And it is time to tell you about some commercials so that we can get our guest in here. Oh, yeah, I got to talk about that, too. Well, we'll figure that out. Just going down the list here. They say. That's right. Single camera. They say all which separates men and boys is the coverage for their toys. What types of toys are we talking about today, Mrs. Ryan?
Collector.
That's right! Sorry. That's a big one. It's bigger than usual. That's right. Licensed in most states, St. Clair Insurance shops top providers so you get the best coverage for your toys. A lot of our friends like the Haggerty Insurance. They've got the Haggerty Insurance, but they shop the top providers so that you get the best coverage for your toys. It's probably Haggerty. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. Jeff Sinclair can tell you. Toys could be anything, by the way. It can be collector cars, because that's what we talk about a lot on this show, but it can be anything. You got a collection of other things. You've got a home, a business, heavy machinery. You got an airplane, a boat. What's he doing?
Cat.
Oh, is the cat out?
People who don't know, like, I'm a massive cat person, and I, like, on my phone have thousands, I'm not kidding, thousands of photos of my cats. So, like, anytime I see a cat, like, you know, I get excited.
Was the kitty, did cat just walk by?
Yeah, she's sleeping right there.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. I'm sorry. You go to www.coverageforyourtoys.com, coverageforyourtoys.com.
Coverageforyourtoys.com.
We get very excited to do the show these days. It's like a big deal to come in here. We don't use this room. So when we're in this room, it means we're talking to everybody, which means like it's like being out at an event. So we really look forward to this. So I hope that's clear. And I hope a few of you enjoy it also. Let's see. This episode has been brought to you in part by Series 1 Films. Series 1 Films helps automotive brands create engaging cinematic content for social media and advertising to grab and hold your ideal customer's attention. Check them out at series1films.com. That's series1films.com. The one is with a number one. Series 1 Films, number one. Who's number one in films? Series 1 Films. Who's the big winner? Mikey's the big winner. Did I tell you about Auto Kennel? Because you're going to want to shop smart, and you're going to want to call. You better call Paul. You're going to want to better call Paul. You better want to call Paul. And then TLG, come on home. I'm going to go over there tomorrow. If you want to come see me at TLG, stop by tomorrow. We love our friends and family over at TLG. I've got to move some cameras around. We're going to take a quick break from. Let's see. We're going to say, a quick break, and you are going to listen to these words, these brief words. Brief words. The briefest of words. Brevity, not my thing, but the briefest of words from our friends at Oh So Delicious Hot Sauce. The hot sauce, Mrs. Ryan.
Made by bears.
Oh, so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Garlic and serrano mixed with love and care. You can put it on your eggs, pour it on your rice. It's great on a leg, it's better on a slice. It's oh so delicious. It's the hot sauce made by bears. Oh, so delicious hot sauce. Great on everything except oatmeal.
Get your bottle today at ohsodelicious.org. $1 from every bottle sold goes to the National Military Family Association.
I'm Johnny Lieberman, and you're watching LNP. What does LNP stand for?
Late Night Playset.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I've been on there. Yeah, good show. You should like and subscribe. Like and subscribe.
There you go.
What are you driving today? 63 356B.
What are you driving today? Here we go. Oh, this is fun, David. Thumbs up for sure.
This just proves that you don't have to go fast to have fun.
You don't have to go fast. Can you see my smile already?
Okay, I'm impressed.
Don't need to stick it. He's already got it. My car's gonna feel slow as balls after this. I'll tell you that. Pedal down. Yeah, baby. Okay. Did you say you are a big water drinker or are not?
No, I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm the kind of person like massive. I was gonna say.
Pull that all the way over to you.
Massive hydration person. So like, last night at dinner.
So I don't need to tell you to drink water, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no. Last night at dinner, I had 4 glasses of iced tea. And then like my birthday set my record of 8, which is pretty impressive. Luckily in America we have free refills, but we went to Mexico 2 weeks ago. We got charged $30 for water.
Oh, because of you.
Yeah. I was like, oh, because the waiter's like, oh, would you like some more? I was like, sure. And I didn't realize every time I was getting charged.
Oh,
so
man.
That was quite interesting.
Everybody, it's my great honor to tell you that we are sitting here with, for the first time as a full-fledged guest, the Stiglette. Joey, what's up, buddy?
What's happening?
Thanks for being here. Thanks for breaking your big news on the show. Excited about that?
Oh, extremely excited. Like this, I knew when I was creating this event, like this was the place to tell the world about it.
Aww.
And so, especially because I interned with you guys last summer and like really got involved with the community, I was like, I know the perfect place. So
what can we say? What are you here to talk about? Why are we excited?
Yeah, very excited, as you can tell. So as many of you know, I currently race go-karts, and next year I'm planning to make the big move out of go-karts into cars, into a series called Spec Porsche Boxster, which races regionally around the U.S. with the Porsche Owners Club. Now, part of that, of course, of racing is finding funding and sponsors and really building yourself as a brand. Because, of course, people forget with racing, it's not just like the actual driving bit, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes into it. I would say, actually, like, the driving bit's kind of the easy part. Weird as that sounds. So, I've recently partnered, not officially, but almost officially, with Porsche Irvine and a group called WCPA, known as West Coast Porsche Adventures. We're having an event at Porsche Irvine on April 23rd called The Driven, the Future of Youth Racing, which we have this shirt. If you were one of the first 400 people to come to the event, you can get your own shirt. So you guys can get your shirts there.
I love it. Well, we'll be there. Luckily, you told us early on, so
yeah, no,
we'll
exactly. I was like, I know the perfect people to invite as well. Not only come on your show, but it's like it's all perfect. So it's going to be a car show from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. There's going to be free food. There's going to be music. And then the cool part is we're going to have a bunch of raffles and giveaways, including like a 90-minute driving experience at the Porsche Experience Center.
Wow.
What else are we going to have?
Valuable gift items.
Yeah.
It's a showcase.
Really cool
it's a showcase of Wonderland of. That's a high ticket value item, right?
Yeah, definitely is.
PEC's not that cheap, and then a 90-minute one is the good one.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're gonna have a Porsche weekend rental. So you pick up the car Friday, return it Monday. So
wait, how does that work? From where?
From Porsche Irvine.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Do they do that anyway, or is this a new program?
I think they do it anyways. I think Porsche's been doing it for like the last year or so.
What a cool idea.
They started it during COVID, which was like the worst time to start it because no one was driving. Although if you actually wanted to drive, like it's good, but
Wow. So they'll be giving away a free weekend in a Porsche.
I don't know if that one's a raffle or giveaway. Like a lot of it, they've kept secret. So like,
well, either way, even if it's a raffle, these are things that if you attend, you have a shot at.
Yeah, exactly. So you can buy as many raffle tickets as you want, and then there's also going to be like silent auction items as well. So a bunch of stuff like Luis from WCPA has been like kind of keeping secret from me to surprise me. So, when I first found out about the event, it wasn't like, oh, let's create this event. It's like, oh, we're doing this event for you. I was like, okay.
Because the community wants to support you?
Yeah,
Is that
exactly.
what you're saying?
Exactly. And so
awesome.
Community wants to support me. I want to be part of the community. And I think the whole thing with particularly the automotive world is like, I think 5 years ago, people really talked about it. There's a lack in youth interest. My generation, most kids aren't driving. They don't even want a driver's license. We're for me or like, people of your generation, they went to the DMV the day they could get their driver's license. So, I think the whole part of it is people see me as kind of the future, being a youngling.
The future of this thing that we all love and celebrate.
Yeah,
that may be dying off.
It may be.
Or it just may be a rebirth.
Exactly. And I think there's also people like worried, with the whole electric car thing, is it going to exist? And I think with people, they need to realize that. I think the other problem is people view the automotive industry as very elitist and like confusing to get into. When the truth is it really isn't. It's just a bit confusing. So people kind of see me as a gateway of like, if you really have the passion and desire, like there is no better place than the automotive world. My whole life, it's kind of been like things were unexpected, like I go to a private high school, but I got waitlisted and was told, oh, if you're waitlisted, 5% chance or less you'll get in. I got in, stuff like that. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity. And
you're also extremely humble. You work very hard for everything that you achieve.
I do.
I've not seen anything just fall into your lap. It may seem to someone else, like even to you, you're saying like, oh, and then they surprised me with this opportunity. Because you have done the groundwork and worked so hard and so diligently in this direction where other people are going, ooh, he's investable.
Yeah, and that's really the thing is like I have behind the scenes, what you don't see is like how much work actually goes into it. Because one of the things people forget about me is when it comes to most like kids or people under 20, let's say, who are into racing, it's because their parents were racing. Like, and I see it at the go-kart track a lot, all these kids trying it out. And I haven't met one kid yet who got into it purely because they discovered it on their own. Even and like you'll see on the entry level, like at car shows or, indoor go-karting places, kids there all the time who like purely are interested. The hard part is actually getting involved within the community. And so what we're looking to do with this event is kind of have an opening and show people like, if you really are passionate and you really enjoy this, welcome, join us. Because I think the thing people forget is they think, oh, you got to buy this or that, or you got to have this fancy car or whatever. And the truth is, we just want passionate, nice, humble people. I think that's what makes the automotive world so special.
I mean, you kind of want that in life, right?
Yeah.
You want to surround yourself with those type of people anyway, right? So why does the automotive community have that for you? What is it? Have you just been really lucky and met some great people, or?
I think part of it's been luck. I think the other thing with the automotive community is y'all don't have to have the exact same interest. Some people, they like Porsches. Some like, more on the motorsport side with Formula One. Some like, just go-karting and like kind of grassroots level racing. And I think what's cool about the automotive community is there's so many different ways to be involved. You can be a person who likes to go on canyon drives. You can be a person who likes to go to car shows. You can be someone who likes street racing, which, don't like that. But that seems to be the future, unfortunately. So trying to break that narrative. You can be someone who likes to clean their car and detail it. There's so many ways to be involved. And I think that's what makes the automotive community so cool for me is like I found a way to be involved in like all those different ways. Mm-hmm. Which has allowed me to meet so many different people from so many different areas. And I think that's where the help has really come. Had I only stayed within like, one specific niche, I think I would have found it harder for myself. But I think what people like about me is I'm very like well-rounded in the fact that I truly, when I say I'm passionate about all cars, I am.
Yeah, I think you're bringing up a very good point that there's no right way to enjoy a car.
Yeah.
If someone enjoys automotive stuff, cars, whatever, it doesn't matter what you enjoy about it. It can be looking at them, it can be washing them and driving them, whatever. It's a very good point.
Yeah, a great example is my best friend Derek, who loves cars just as much as me, but yet he has absolutely zero interest in going fast. It was funny was, this was like 4 years ago, he said, oh yeah, I went to the indoor go-karting place. I was like, oh, what was your best lap time? How was it? He's like, no, I just went to go drive around slowly for a Sunday drive.
He's just cruising.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
And yet he's, just as knowledgeable in the automotive world as I am, but completely different interest within it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so amazing.
Is this the guy you do your show with?
Yes.
Are you still doing that?
We filmed an episode in January, which we actually did post, but the problem we both have is as high school students, we just don't have a ton of time to work in it and film.
Yeah.
So like often like, because I'll speak to him like weekly, and like we were calling each other it was yesterday. And I was saying, like, okay, when do we think we could do our next episode? He's like, we literally both don't have a day that works for the next month and a half. So that's what makes it tough because the thing with my content is when it comes to most people, I mean, you guys are an exception. they don't edit and they don't film their own content. And the thing is, I edit and film my own content. People forget when it comes to editing and filming, there's a lot of planning and then, of course, a lot of revising that goes into it. And it doesn't happen where, like, I can go film this and then be like, okay, I'll just post it on YouTube. It doesn't, unfortunately, work that way. It takes time.
That would be so cool if it did.
Yeah,
Everything went right to plan, and here you go.
That'd be amazing. Yeah, I go film it, boom, edited, YouTube, done. But the truth is, like, at the quickest I can get content out, it's a week. Because I think in life you need a balance, you know. Yes, I didn't need to sleep, if I didn't need to eat, I could edit for 24 hours straight.
Oh, that's what you consider balance? Eating and sleeping?
Yeah. So,
all right. As long as you take some time for yourself.
Yeah, so exactly. That's
what do you do to relax? Whenever I say, what do you, like, you don't, first of all, I don't think you relax. But
really
what you're okay. You're young. You don't have to relax. But, well, like, what do you do for fun? Because it seems that what other people would do for recreation, you take very seriously and are striving to get so good at that you want to do it professionally. So, like, do you play the piano? Do you do you sew? Like,
well, it's funny. This is like a question I'm really having to deeply think about because I can't say, oh, I go drive go-karts. You know, that's like something I'm really pursuing. I can't say it's editing YouTube videos. I can't say it's driving on the road because, you know, going to car events stuff. Like, I'm genuinely trying to think, actually, because driving on the simulator, that's training.
Like, you take everything too seriously. Like, you don't have any fun stuff. You know what I mean? Like, go pick flowers or something. Not that, but you know what I mean? Something. Yeah. Go shoot cans or what did we do when we were kids? I don't know. We threw dirt at each other. I'm not telling you to do that. But, like, is there anything that you can I don't know. You're so young. I worry about you being high-strung and burning out at some point. Now, obviously, these are not concerns of yours at this age. But I hate to see the kids too high-strung.
I agree.
And I don't want that to happen to you because you take on a lot. Your schedule is immense. People say that. A lot of people say that. Oh, I'm so busy. I got all these things. You really, really do.
Yeah,
you really do.
I'm the kind of person, like, I will calculate my day hour by hour or half hour by half hour. And it's funny, I looked at this week and I said to myself, oh my, I literally don't have any time. So, like, you know, apart from high school, like, I go to a really difficult school that's challenging. So, like, that takes a lot of time. Then on top of that, I play baseball for the school. That takes a lot of time. So, like, I've calculated to the point where I realized, okay, realistically, I have 3 hours I can work on my racing stuff. People assume, oh, it's just the whole day. It's like, no, I really have 3 hours. And if I work more than 3 hours, I'm going to go to bed past 10 p.m. So it's just, like, I kind of struggle with, like, finding that balance. You know, ideally, I'd love to. I think the great example was for spring break a couple weeks ago, we went to Mexico on a trip. And, you know.
Drank all the water.
Yeah. Drank all the water. I literally did. $30 worth. The thing I realized was, like, when I was on that trip, like, obviously, you know, I wasn't racing. I wasn't driving anywhere. So, like, I truly, for the first time, had a week to genuinely, like, do something else, which was kind of I would say a culture shock, but, like, it was surprising. Because I all of a sudden realized, okay, today, what's on my schedule? Oh, I have nothing on my schedule. Whoa.
Well, I guess maybe that's what I was saying before. Like, having time to daydream is a really good thing, and I don't see much of that on your schedule. What do you think in the shower? Like, where do you do your thinking, son?
It's in the shower. It's getting dressed in the morning.
Getting dressed in the morning? Oh, my God. No, I need a little bit more than that.
That's what people always say. Oh, why do you take so long to do things? Like, basic tasks. It's like, because that's my time to think.
Oh, okay. Well, I agree with that.
Yeah, so it's like if it takes me like a minute to microwave something, I'm sorry, it's going to be a 5-minute process, you know.
Interesting.
That's my thinking time.
Interesting. Okay, well, maybe we are more similar then. Because I do. I just built in padding to everything because I'm like, I process everything slower than most people because I feel it all. You know what I mean? Like, I run it through different filters. If you're doing some version of that, then maybe I'm not worried about you because you're already got yourself under control. Like, you're already regulating where you need to.
Yeah, I mean, I try to. I think the hard part is, like, you know, deep down, I really just want to keep pushing forward. But whenever that kind of, like, burnout or fatigue comes, there's no real warning sign of it. Like, yeah, sure, in an ideal world, you'd be like, oh, you know, I probably should take a break and I should go do this and then come back. Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work. Like, when I'm, like, let's say, for example, I'm editing, right? Oof. I'm never going to be like, oh, you know what? I'm going to take off the headphones and I'm going to go outside for a bike ride for 1 hour. No, what ends up happening is it'll be, like, 10 p.m. and I just fall asleep at my desk.
Yeah. Haven't gone to the bathroom, haven't eaten since noon. everything else goes out the window because you get so like zoomed in on that one process, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the same way.
And it seems to be everything I do. I get zoomed into that. So that's kind of the thing with me. Is like, it's even like when I go to a car show, I always end up, I'm like, wait, hold on. It was supposed to be I planned to be here for an hour. 5 hours later, I just got home.
Yeah. All right. So everything you plan takes longer than you plan.
Yeah. So then I've worked on
we're the same.
I worked on planning it longer, and it's just gone even longer.
Yeah. What the hell?
I know.
And the world's just speeding up.
Yeah.
Man. Comedians are dying. We're talking about some of the people who've died. Sorry, off racing for just 2 seconds. We're talking about some of the people who've died from our generation and stuff. Like, do you have people of your generation where you're like, hey, what types of movies do you watch? Oh, I like, for a while there was Will Ferrell movies, or now it's probably I don't know. Who are your contemporaries?
For me, I mean, because it's mainly car related, it's Jeremy Clarkson, James May, Richard Hammond. The trio.
The holy trio.
What's funny was yesterday was Jeremy Clarkson's birthday, and he turned 62.
Oh.
What's interesting is on this interview, they asked him, like, your thoughts about, like, death and, like, getting older. And this is such a Clarkson response. And he said, yeah, I'm not worried about getting older. So good. So Clarkson said, yeah, I'm not worried about getting older. At best, I'll look like a pipe cleaner. And it was just like, that's such a Jeremy Clarkson response to anything. Or it's like when he had COVID 2 years ago, and I think it was like The Guardian wrote, oh, he's fighting for his life. He's like, no, I wasn't fighting for my life. I was laying in bed waiting for it to go away. It's just like, you just kind of love the man. So like for me, my generation, like, it's really those three, like, I look up to. I think as a car enthusiast in particular. Like, I've never really been big into movies because, again, like, when do I have the time? So, like, the embarrassing part is, like, if I'm with my peers or, like, we're at a friend's house having dinner and they ask, oh, yeah, have you seen this movie? And it's just like, I haven't. Sorry. Or, like, even, like, the classic stuff. It's just like, I haven't. Like, I didn't see Star Wars till 5th grade.
Wow.
When all my friends had seen it by kindergarten.
I gave you a DVD or Blu-ray you hadn't seen. Did you ever watch it?
I never had a chance.
I didn't think so. It was Goonies, everybody. Goonies. He hasn't seen Goonies.
No, I know. That's the thing. Is like, I'm the kind of person, like, I do actually genuinely want to see that stuff. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out and never do. Like, I have a list, I'm not kidding, of YouTube videos I want to watch that people recommend, or, like, movies and stuff. And I just never get to it.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'll check much other shit.
I'll check the notes app and be like, last updated 6 months ago. It's like... So, yeah, for me, like, I'm the kind of person, like, I want to go, like, you're starting a conversation, be like, oh, yeah, I did see that. But I sure that I never got to it. And that's kind of hard to comprehend for me.
When your schedule is so budgeted out, anytime in my life it's ever been like that, it's great because you get so much stuff done, you know what I mean? Like, really efficient. But it's like the creativity wasn't possible after a certain amount of time. And maybe it's the burnout you were talking about before. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? Do you experience this at all? With having the regimented schedule, then you miss out on things just sort of happening to you in life just by being at this random place you didn't expect or whatever.
Yeah, I've had that.
Okay.
I think the great example is, like, when it comes to my sleep schedule, like, that's something I really suffer with because, like, if I'm the kind of person, like, I will not stop in the middle of a task. I will get it done no matter how long it takes. And one of the issues I was having was, like, even if I'd, like, just go to bed, I'd go to bed stressed because I'm like, oh, I got to wake up in the morning and do it. And it's like, ugh.
This is...
And so the problem I was having is, like, my one car show I really love, which is near my house, like, literally 5 minutes away. It starts at, like, 7 a.m. It's, like, 7 to 8:30. That's it. And...
Is it Early Routers?
Yeah, Early Routers.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
So
La Cañada or Montrose?
Well, yeah, it's literally the border of Glendale and La Cañada.
Okay.
So the thing with Early Routers, right? One of my favorite shows out there because of the variety of cars and, like, all the great people you meet. But the hard part with that show being so early is, like, I'll come from weeks. Like, I've really noticed it, like, now in high school because my schedule's gotten insanely busy. Like, my body just wants to catch up on sleep even though I have my alarm set early. So, for example, like, I'd always, like, with my friend Derek, I'd wake up at 5:30. He'd pick me up at, like, 6:30, and we'd go to the show early. And, that'd be a lot of fun. And I could easily do that 5:30 wake up every morning. I can't do that anymore. I literally cannot. and it's kind of painful for me because
Stiglet's like, I'm getting old. Sucks to get old. Oh, my back. Oh, my neck.
And I think the great thing was like even this like past Saturday, you know, I set my alarm for 5:30, and I like could not get out of bed till 7, and I ended up getting there at like 8, and I just felt horrible. And the whole Saturday, like even though I had a really good day, it just felt horrible. So it's like, yeah, I do feel that like if I miss out, because like the way I view it is like I'm on a train. I don't know why I train, but a train.
I love trains. Let's do it.
Uh,
Train metaphor coming through. Woo woo!
Yeah, exactly. So I'm on this train. I don't know where the train's going, but I'm on this train and Stiglette Express. And so we're on the Stiglette train, and we're, I guess, like if the end goal is, you know, trying to have a professional career in racing, and I boarded it here where I went to my first car show. You know, I'm trying to continue. I feel like every time I don't go to a show or like I really don't maximize my time, I've fallen off the train. And then I'm like,
because you're so driven.
yeah, I'm boarding the next train. That's 5 minutes later, which I don't know what difference that makes, but you know what I'm saying.
I do. I mean, when you're behind somebody slow on the crest, right? And like, what the frig? They're just not using the turnout. You could simply use the turnout. You could simply stop and take a few minutes, and then they wouldn't be in front of you anymore. But we don't. We have this idea. Jeff Zwart described it the best when he was here, and he's like, we have this idea of what our forward momentum should be, and anytime somebody else either stops or changes whatever that is, we get very upset as people, as humans.
Yeah.
And I think it may be what you're talking about. Like, you have this idea, oh, well, the tram line from A to B is X amount, and that's a shit ton of work. So anything off of that, like, why would I want to skew and do more work?
Exactly. That's the way I view it. And I think the Angeles Crest analogy is a good one because, like, when you're driving on that road, your brain operates in this certain speed. Let's call it 50 miles an hour. I don't know why. But if your brain's operating 50 miles an hour and you come across a Prius going 20, it's like, whoa. You know,
you kind of recalibrate your brain.
Yeah, you get thrown into this reality, and then like you try to get going back to 50 miles an hour, and you're like, whoa, 50 miles an hour is fast.
Yeah.
And so.
Oh, that's interesting. It's all relative?
Yeah. I genuinely think it is. Like, I don't see myself as like this philosophical person, but yet here I am.
That's hilarious. There's obviously amazing things coming for you because you're not going to stop. I mean, you're very, very clear about that. Like, you have this idea of where you're going. Can you tell the rest of us what it looks like at the end there?
As far as like the end goals?
Yeah, even if it's a little blurry, what's that end? What does it look like?
So the end goal for me is I'd like to make it to Formula One. That's like been my dream ever since I watched my first race. I think like at that moment I kind of realized this is really cool. It's something I want to do. I just had no clue how to do it. And I think that's kind of the struggle I had was like, how do I do it? And I'm like, I'm still very unclear about it, but more clear than I was then.
The few years of work you've put in have gotten you far closer to that reality than
Much
where
closer.
you were.
Yeah, I think the hard part was like not only putting in the work, but understanding what work to do. I think the hard part was like trying to figure that out and like really understand it because I kind of jumped in this on my own. You know, neither of my parents came from motorsports or, you know, the automotive world. So we all jumped in this together of like, you know, I don't know, let's go try it. Which has actually been a lot of fun. Because I think like, you know, it's cool to see generations of people doing it, but there's something about a new person joining that you want to see them succeed because it's like, no way, they're actually able to do it or find a way.
A new person, yeah, but your folks are so excited for you. They're on this ride with you.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they've been really supportive from day one. And I think it's been in anything I've done. You know, when I was younger and it was, you know, about playing baseball for fun, like they were supportive of that. And so I think a good thing is like, yeah, having my parents be there for me and, you know, really share this kind of view I have of like, you know, let's do this.
Again, I go back to your humble work ethic. I mean, you work very hard for the things that you get. I don't think your parents would just flat out support you in some of your endeavors if you didn't show that they were worth supporting. Your interest was worth supporting. There's so many kids that are like, oh, I want a guitar. I'm going to learn how to play guitar. They get them guitar. All right. No, it's in the closet. You know what I mean? Oh, violin, try that. Or whatever it happens. Skateboard, you know,
yeah.
Surfing lessons, whatever it happens to be.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you get so hyped up in that moment, and I'm gonna follow through. Can we get a dog? I'll feed it. Whatever. You actually do it. You actually do the hard work, and from that point, I think it makes it very easy to get in line and support you. So I'm telling everybody, you should get in line and support him because he's made it very easy to do so.
Parenting advice 101.
I just mean behind you in all the in your endeavors in life. I mean racing. I mean sponsorships. I mean people should throw money at you. People should throw cars at you. People should throw car parts at you because you're somebody who deserves it. You're going to do the right stuff with it. And I think that not only are you going to go far, I think that's sort of unquestionable at this point. I don't think you're going to stop until you go far. I think that the motivations behind you are very good. I think you're a good person. You're very polite and well put together. You're a good kid, damn it. You know what I mean? We need more good kids out there as role models. And I want to see a Formula One guy out there who's not a total dick. Some of those guys are dicks. I can't wait to see you out there and show them how to be a champion.
Yeah, no, and I think the thing about like the way my parents raised me was like it was never like they gave me anything and was like, oh, go try this, see if you like it. It was always like me kind of finding that interest and then pursuing it. So it was never like, oh, go try this. Here's this. Here's this. Here's this. That kind of like spoiled brat attitude. So like for example, like when it came to buying a go-kart, which like even they were like supportive of like before when we raced in the rental series and didn't even own a kart, like it wasn't like they just bought it for me and were like, oh, we bought you a kart, by the way, go play with it. It was more like a process. Like I almost had to kind of make a sales pitch about like why I wanted it, how it would help me, where this would take me, which I think is
you had
actually,
to sell them on the idea.
Yeah, I had to sell them on it, and I think like I kind of have this habit of like doing it with anything, and I think that's kind of makes it harder. Like when people want to like give gifts to me, is they're used to me trying to make the sales pitch for it. If that makes sense. So I think that's
saying
kind
it's
of
hard to gift. It's hard to gift you things because.
Yeah, people just don't know because like I'm usually like making a sales pitch of like kind of what I want or why I want it. And so.
Oh, I see. So people don't necessarily offer you things because they don't know that you want it.
Without your direction.
Is that what?
Yeah.
People tend to get clueless, and I say that from experience. But yeah, there's no nugget to add on to it. It's like starting from scratch every time.
Yeah.
It's like kudos to your friends for staying around.
I totally agree. Because yeah, the thing is like I always have to kind of have this vision of like whatever I want. I never want to be like the kid who like gets a million toys and then never plays with them. Like, I feel horrible when I see people like that.
The Richie Rich or what's the any movie I guess that has the kid like that. Okay, well, but
because I'm all about like earning it. I think that's the way life kind of should be.
Why? Where does that come from for you?
I don't really know necessarily. I've kind of just always been a hard worker. I think like the example I think of was like when I was in kindergarten in first grade. A lot of the kids they just thought, oh, I don't really know what to do with school. I'll just kind of try and then give up. I was always the one that was like, yeah, you know what, I'll do this. So when people say, oh, I'm a great student, like I am, but I'm not this person who's naturally gifted where I can just sit down and then, 100% on everything. I get good grades and like I do well because I actually try. I think that's the thing is like, am I the most gifted person? No, but I'm willing to put in the effort and really try in everything I do. And I think that's what's helped me find success so far is being able to put in the work and be like, if I put in the work, I can do this.
But where does that come from? I want to know where you got that instilled. Like, did your parents instill that in you?
They might have. I think the thing is because I've had it so early on.
That's where I'm going. You got a previous life or something else where you worked really hard for your money.
Could have been.
It's weird to have that as a kid. You know what I mean? As kids are taken care of. Kids are given things. Hey, here's some food. Here's a fresh thing. Whatever. Kids are sort of taken care of. For you to be like, no. Let me put in some time here first.
Yeah.
That's, I think, unusual.
And I think when people try to help me, they notice that is like, I'm the kind of person like, I'm not going to ask for help until I know like I'm kind of struggling or can't do it. Which like that has its benefits. It also has its downsides as well.
Especially if you're so zoomed in on that task, you don't realize you needed help 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
you're already fritzed out. That's me
From
too.
experience, ask when you think you don't need it. Like when you
Yeah.
know you're buying in, you know.
It's like being thirsty, right? Like by the time you're thirsty,
Yeah.
you're already dehydrated, supposedly. So you're supposed to just like drink water regularly, that type of thing.
To the water guy.
Right, yeah, right. Yeah, you know all about this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, though, because back to your point of balance before, life is all a balance.
Yeah, it's all about balance. I think like that's the most important thing is like if you want to move forward, you need to have that. I think the way to think of it is like, again, this is a weird one, but you think the way I imagine it is BMW always brags, their cars have the 50-50 weight distribution. And when I think of that, I think, okay, if you put the car in neutral, it's genuinely neutral. It's not going to roll one way or the other. And I think that's kind of a good thing because it can freely move. Whereas, like, let's say you're really, really, really trying to move forward. So let's say you're accelerating, so all your weight is backwards. Well, eventually when you come off the accelerator because you're fatigued, you're going to go forwards, which will kind of like braking, you move forward. It kind of slows you down, if that analogy makes sense. Coming up with the weirdest ones today.
No, that's all right.
But I think that's why balance is important, is like, when you kind of feel fatigued, don't let it take you backwards. Go to neutral.
Oh, I see.
So if you got fourth gear and you're going into third gear, don't go into first gear.
Well, definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
Marco calls those money shifts. I go, money shift? What? Like power shift? He's like, no, you just spent a lot of money. It's like, oh, yeah, duh, okay. So spec Boxster is what we're talking about here. Are we looking at gutting Mom's car, or are we looking at getting you a race car?
It's getting me a race car. So we've actually looked into this. What's interesting when it comes to the whole spec Porsche Boxster series, it's basically just a stripped down Boxster you race. It's actually really cheaper to buy an existing one than to gut your own. Because even though you think, oh, okay, well, I'm just stripping it out, you do have to change parts of the car, like the suspension, the exhaust, add the roll cage, all that stuff. And so it's actually more efficient to buy an already existing racing version, so whether it's new or used.
Especially for your first race car. You always buy a used first race car.
Yeah, exactly.
Who buys a brand new first race car?
No one
That
does.
is like ridiculous.
Yeah.
These aren't bicycles.
Well, there are people who do, and it's because, they're worried as a driver. They think, oh, well, if I have the new one with the very shininess,
Yeah.
I'll go faster.
Yeah, okay.
No. Yeah.
If you're the driver worried about that, you're not the driver.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, even my go-kart, we bought it used, but, the way I view it is, like, you can always move forwards with with lesser equipment, let's say. Whereas if you buy the newest thing, like, there's a lot of pressure on you because that excuse of, oh, it's the machine is gone. The other thing as well, I think, which is good about, like, starting with something that's not as good is, like, you have to learn it and you have to figure out how do you improve it and understand it. And I think, like, as on the driving side, that really helps you because if you don't understand what you're driving, what's the point of driving?
Well, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Not everyone's looking for what we're looking for, but I agree with you.
Yeah. It's like you really have to understand the machine because at the end of the day, if you don't trust the machine, it can kill you.
I find that, driving these new cars fast is like easy and hard to me. Because in the old days, to drive a car fast, you had to be on the edge. To find the edge on these new cars is ridiculous. Like they almost don't have an edge anymore. So you're sort of just bumping off limiters and computers and all this other crazy shit. So it's sort of the mind meld between your own intuition and all of the electronics. You've driven some new cars as well,
Yeah, actually,
PEC and stuff.
So a couple weeks ago, I got to drive a 992 Carrera S.
Okay.
And so, yeah, the one thing I noticed with that car was I called it the digital driver's car because, like, I really do like that car. But, like, from a pure, raw, like, driver skill point of view, I don't think that car does a great job. Like, I kind of want, like, if you want to, like, improve as a driver.
Where were
like,
you?
understand-
Were you driving on the track or PEC? Or?
I was actually driving with Porsche Irvine filming a review. Yeah.
Actually.
Okay.
Shout out
Pardon
to
me.
Porsche Irvine on the sleeve here. So, yeah, with a guy named Mason there, known as P-Car Whisperer, we do a series called The Kid into Car Sales, and we review cars together.
You sent me a clip. Let me know when we want to play that.
Should we do it now?
I don't know. It's you produce. Yes, absolutely. Of course we should. All right. Roll it, Hal.
Hi, I'm Joey. I'm Mason, and this is a kid and a car salesman. So on April 23rd, here at Porsche Irvine at 10 a.m., we will have an event called The Driven to encourage youth in racing. And at this event, you'll be able to bring all your different types of cars. There's going to be habit burgers as well as giveaways. Now, if you guys want to come and meet us, stop by, and if you can stump us, you'll actually get a prize, which is really cool.
Yeah, so can you beat our knowledge? Porsche Whisperer and the Stiglette. That's the challenge.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That looks awesome. That
Yeah.
looks awesome. So that's Mason, your cohort in the driving videos.
Yeah, exactly. And the fun thing I learned was actually my aunt's Cayman. He was her service advisor.
Oh, no kidding. Nice.
Totally small worlds. So yeah, what I was saying about the 992 is that it's a very fast car, but it's digital. Like, yes, you can be a good driver and go fast in it, but are you really? Or is it the computer doing it?
Yeah, that's what I see.
I haven't like owned one to try this out, but like I'd love to take one on a track and shut off all the electronics. Like honestly, just unplug the battery. Would the car even run? I don't even know. But let's say you unplug the battery or disconnect the alternator and see what would happen when the car is just the way it is, raw. Because I guarantee when it's raw with all that power, all that speed, it's actually pretty difficult.
How are you going to run the car without the battery? I haven't thought that through. All right, but somehow turn the nannies and all the computers and stuff off. Get it as raw as possible.
Because I guarantee on that, like even when you can shut off the traction control, the light may turn yellow, but I don't think it actually does anything.
Oh, I see. Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I think the problem...
And BMW used to be able to, like, you push the traction control off, and then it would, like, give you something or whatever. But there was, like, the secret that the car guys knew, like, if you held it for 10 seconds, then you'd get a different thing with an exclamation point, and then you were really loose.
Right, you'd have DSE Sport.
Totally. So is there something like that within this ecosystem, or no?
I mean, they're probably... What was confusing was there's multiple traction controls, because there's, like, ESP, ESC, stability control, traction control, power braking assist. The power steering system is very complicated, because in any Porsche 991 or newer, it's actually electric. There's no steering column. Many people don't know that. That's why the 997s get a lot of hype in the steering field, because there's an actual steering column.
You know, is this true? I know we have hydraulic power-assisted power steering, hydraulic-assisted power steering. And then my understanding is that the 991s and newer are electrically assisted power steering.
Correct.
But that there's still a rack and pinion old school.
There might be.
We thought it was turn by wire the other day too, Reggie Watts and I, and we were corrected by like Lieberman or somebody who was like, no, it's not that. But I haven't been in there to see. I don't know myself. So
you know what? That's a good point. Actually, I don't know, because now you say it's hydraulically assisted or electrically.
Either way, the feeling difference between our 997 and any 991 that's newer is night and day, and it's one of the reasons we stuck with the 997.
Yeah, and I just think, like, if you think about, like, the way hydraulic works versus electric, you know, electric, it's just a signal at the end of the day, or hydraulic, like, you know, it's actually a mechanism with fluid and stuff.
Pressure that you can feel in your hands.
Yeah, I think a great example is when it comes to brakes on cars. You know, with an electric assist, you know, you can just 5 pounds of brake pressure, boom, all the way. You know, you're full braking. Where hydraulic, like, you actually have to feel the ABS and, like, understand how the brakes are engaging.
Yeah.
You know, traveling through the master cylinder, through the brake lines, so the pistons, you know.
And you understand all that stuff.
I think I do.
Have you driven cars that are older that don't have ABS?
My go-kart, but...
Okay. No, but I mean, like, pump the brakes was never a thing for you, right? You just step on the brakes as hard as possible, and the ABS will kick over. Yeah. When I was a kid, it was like, no, you pump the brakes, because otherwise they'll lock up. Well, I guess the weather, too. The winter weather where we grew up. But the brakes would lock up.
That was a big deal. Like, it was part of the process of slowing the car down.
Of learning how to drive. It was really important back then, yeah.
Yeah.
But these days, nobody, the kids have no knowledge of any of that shit.
Because, like, all the cars have ABS. I mean, it might be a law, as a matter of fact. It probably is.
Oh, it is now. All new cars past a certain
But, like, I think, like, even when it comes to power steering, there's only, well, actually, it went out of production, but there's now no cars left with power steering. The last one was the Alfa Romeo 4C. The last car did not have power steering.
Is that true?
Yeah. Last car did not have it.
Is it because it's electric now, so there's no reason not to?
I think also, like, it's more of a customer preference. The truth is, when you don't have power steering, parking is like, ooh, not the best.
I drove DeLoreans. It's awful. It's notoriously awful. But most in fact, I think anything pre Gosh, is it 996 or 993's power steering? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I mean, but G bodies aren't.
So if G
I don't
bodies
think
aren't,
96. It might be 964. I can't
so
remember.
it probably was
Drawing a
964
blank.
that had power steering for the first time.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I like not having power steering
I
because
do
like
too.
you actually feel the road. And again, it's a thing of like, oh, you can't just you want to make the corner, add more wheels. Like no, you actually have to feel the front wheels.
But you can feel the front wheels, and then you can therefore feel what the tire is doing and what the road surface is doing. None of that is possible to be translated through the electric power steering,
Yeah.
as good as Porsche has made it.
Yeah.
It's probably the best one out there, but it's still not there for me. Now, am I right, or is this me, an old guy, going like, nah, it's not as good as it used to be? Because some
No.
guys say it's every bit as good.
I think you're right. And the reason I say it is like, as a marketing point, they will never publicly admit that it's just not as good. But the truth is, no matter how good someone engineers the power steering in Germany, you just can't replicate it. I think there's some things in life that you just, no matter how hard you try, it's impossible to replicate.
Here we go. We got an answer. Re 911 power steering. Both systems use a rack. The difference is how they're assisted.
Aha.
Some electronic systems have a motor directly on the rack for assistance. Other have the motor on the column. But there's still a physical column and rack. The difference is how they're assisted. Yeah, so that's what we got corrected the other day as well. We thut it was turn-by-wire, just like drive-by-wire, and we were
Because, I think like one of the earliest cars to be drive-by-wire and steering was the Infiniti Q50, which was massively popular. A bunch of people liked it. A bunch of people hated it as well. So that was like kind of the first one of like actually no steering column. But it's now becoming very common, particularly with like daily drivers. Because like from a safety point of view in a crash, like there's no risk of a steering column going through you.
Right.
So it's
Final
like
Destination style.
It's kind of the theory of like, make the cars that aren't enthusiast cars boring in that sense. Because the owner's not going to care.
It seems to be the future of everything is less moving parts. So it's like if they can make that a drive-by-wire system, they're going to. Everything is ones and zeros are cheaper than making something. Everybody has
Right.
proved that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. It's all about getting production costs down, but then the more electronics you add, the more complicated it gets. So
You got my vote.
I think like the great example was like Nissan with Carlos Ghosn, their CEO, who went to jail, escaped, got caught, and all that.
Wow.
He famously got the production costs on Nissans down in the 2000s, but the cars became really unreliable. But for the manufacturer, like with unreliable stuff, you can kind of make money on that if you know what you're doing.
At least for a couple years.
Yeah,
Until they start coming back.
You look at German cars in the 2000s; they're notoriously unreliable. It's not that the build quality, it's not like Mercedes or BMW or Porsche was not capable of building good quality cars. No, they are. That's kind of planned in some of them, is they know that like if this buyer's willing to pay for it, we'll just keep the production costs low, and the buyer will just make it up in the service.
You know so much stuff, Joey Andrews. I can't imagine what you're going to know when you're my age. I can't even imagine. I can't wait to follow you and all the things you do and all of your achievements. We love you, buddy. Is there anything that you want to talk about and tell people today that we haven't gotten to?
I guess we could talk a little bit about Spec Porsche Boxster, kind of what that looks like.
Well, we're wrapping it up. So it's like, is there anything that you wanted to, like, if you want to tell them something specific, then let's do it. Otherwise, but I don't want to open up another conversation.
Yeah, no, we can quickly do it.
Okay, go for it.
So I think the thing, like, I was kind of getting back to about the whole idea of the event is getting people into motorsport. I remember, like, when I wanted to do a track day, I was like, I had no idea how to do it. I would, like, go on these websites, and I'm like, what? And so the whole idea of this event is basically introducing people to, like, here's the different routes of motorsport you can go into, and here's how. And I think the whole idea about kind of my career, which makes it unique, is the fact that, like, I really wasn't set up to do this. I didn't have all the cards thrown at me like, okay, here's what you need to do. We'll help you here and set you up here. You just show up. It's like I've had to kind of put it all together. And so my whole goal with this event is, like, teaching people, like, you can do this, and kind of be that, like, I don't know what this is. That helping hand.
Yeah, okay.
Of getting people to understand, like, if you genuinely want to race cars or you want to get involved, like, there's ways to do it. So.
Because you found your way. You made a way.
I made a way. And I think, like, if you have the passion, if you have the interest, you can make a way.
You're inspiring, too. Look at this. He's inspiring people at his age. Thank you for being here, for one. How do people follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Roadster at The Stiglette. And on YouTube, we just hit 500 subscribers, so shout out there.
All right, we got to get you to 1,000 because that unlocks some stuff. So
Yeah.
everybody, please follow the Stiglette YouTube channel. If you get to 1,000, then you can monetize. You get access to a lot of different things.
There's a whole bunch of things I've heard. So
let's get him to
if
1,000.
you type in on your browser the stiglette.video, that will take you to my YouTube page. So, yeah.
Good. www.
Spell the Stiglette so everyone
Yes,
knows.
this is a very important thing. Spelling the Stiglette. So THE, assuming we can all do that, and then Stiglette. So it's the Stig, STIG, and then the lip part is LETTE, not one T or two T's, but remember the E as well. Everyone seems to forget that.
I don't want to open up this conversation as to why, but for sure, it's like Corvette, you said.
Yeah, like Corvette,
Stiglette,
exactly.
Like Corvette, yeah. And it is. And Stig, of course, like Stig, the racing driver from Top Gear. We didn't get to it, but your contemporaries are the same. And that guy, I asked you who are the young folks you're into? You're like, well, Jeremy Clarkson just turned 62 yesterday. We love you, buddy. We love you. Let's see. Anything you want to plug? April 23rd at Irvine Porsche.
Yeah, come on down there. Free food, free music, display your car, get a shirt if you're one of the first 400 people to show up.
This is first of many of these, I have a feeling.
That's the goal,
Yeah.
ideally. The whole idea of the event is just helping me with my career, with reaching out, getting sponsors and
awareness. And then it's a pool for people to say, hey, look, he's doing this. So if you support this type of thing, here's somebody new.
Yeah, and with my career, I want to have the community involved. I think the community's done so much for me. I want to give back to them.
Amen.
So, we're all in this together.
Mutual. Amen. I love that. All right, that's it. Let's see. We're back on Thursday with Dylan Mystery and Cameron Thuman from Mystery Films. You know them? They do some of the Magnus videos. They do a lot of car commercials, done like Super Bowl commercials and stuff. These guys came out of the gate hard, like you, coming out of the gate hard. And like, wow, we're doing stuff. Learn our names. That's what's going on. Let's see. Producer Mike, are you still with us? You are still with us.
I'm still with us, and I am impressed and inspired by this young man, and it makes me feel like, what the hell am I doing with my time? Holy cow. Well done, sir.
You're not alone with that feeling. I'm sitting in the same room, and I was like, he's so accomplished. He just needs to not screw up, and he's going to achieve everything in the world.
Yep. Yeah, it's really awesome to see.
Do you have any questions for the Stiglette? I know you had one earlier, and I didn't ask it, but I'm about to if you don't.
Oh. Hey, yeah. Hey, Stiglette, congratulations on the kart career. Congratulations on, moving from karts to cars. But in your life, have you ever played Super Mario Kart before?
I have. You know what? That's actually kind of one of the starting grounds. I remember second grade, I was gifted a Nintendo DS, and that was one of the games I had. And I was really, really good in it. Like every track, every character, gold everything. So that, you know what? That's arguably one of the starts I've just always failed to mention.
So you are, that's a great question, by the way, Mike. I know it was sort of half a joke, but it turned into be a great question. You're the same way with real karting too. Your apexes are sick. Can you see around the corners? You know what I mean? Like you can, right?
Yeah.
You can see more than the other guys can see.
It's actually one of the most important things to driving fast. Have you seen the movie The Art of Racing in the Rain?
It's one of my all-time favorites.
Okay, so
because of what they do, not just Jeff Zwart's involvement, but yes.
Yeah, so in that movie, one of the key things was the car goes where your eyes go. And, that's an important important phrase people really overlook. Because the truth is, that is genuinely what happens. Yeah. For example, if you see something on the freeway and you look right, your car will move right because your hands will follow. So, yes, when you look
or
through
whatever
the corners,
you don't want to hit.
Whatever you don't want to hit, yeah, exactly.
How many YouTube videos are the guys drifting in the parking lot and there's nothing in the parking lot for miles, and then there's one light post and he's like, yeah. That guy just locked on. Don't hit the post. Don't hit the post. Oh man.
Exactly. And the thing is, your eyes are surprisingly precise, and you just have to know how to use them. Is really, they say, lock on your vision. Because if you don't, you're going to miss your apex by a few feet. Let's say it's 3 feet and the corner or the track has, 15 turns. That's 45 feet of extra track you've added. It's a big distance.
Or that's a place where maybe you ran out. You took 3 feet off of it over here, so it's not going to be on your line where you need it over there coming out.
Exactly. Yeah. It all adds up. And yeah, I think vision and looking through corners. Like even in road driving, it applies.
Agreed.
Especially up on Angeles Crest, we see.
Do you think that your race driving and your crest driving and stuff like that makes you a better driver in the real world?
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I was very comfortable the second I stepped into a road car, just because I had been racing and I understood, like, I'm not scared of the speed. Like, even though I'm not going to go speeding, like, I was just comfortable with the fact of, like, knowing, okay, use my eyes to, feel what's around me, have a good brake pedal feel, and just be smooth. I think that's the trick to good driving is be smooth and build up speed. I think people get scared because they try to go really fast. I'm like, oh my gosh. It. And then they get really sloppy.
Modern cars, I have a problem with this. They're all too powerful for regular people who don't know how to control that power.
Oh, without a doubt.
Well, now that you have achieved guest status, come back anytime and let us know with what's going on with you. If you want to come intern sometime, you're welcome. But I feel like you've surpassed all that. You don't have time for that shit. But you're welcome as a guest anytime you want. And if there's ever anything we can do to help you, we'll be there on the 23rd as well. But if there's ever anything we can do, we're there for you.
No, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Wrapping up the show again. Dylan and Cameron on Thursday. I love you. We love you. We all love you. Producer Mike, we love you. And the Instagram audience, we love you. Thank you for those who bought badges. I heard some people bought badges. Thank you. We love everybody. And please love one another. We'll see you out there.